error, an error. See now.
Ooh, I'm just waiting for the buzz. Oh,
Now,
yeah.
you keep talking
Yeah.
that shit about my fucking kid, and you annoying me and aggravating me, and I'm trying to enjoy my life.
Rolex on your wrist, a plain giant.
Standing at the bus stop, sucking on a lollipop. Once she gets pumping, it's hard to make the hottie stop. Hottie stop, stop, stop.
You ready? All right now. This could be a crazy ride. I'm warning you now. The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy.
Hey Stickies, happy Tuesday morning. I hope that you laying in bed, sleeping tight, and that your week is going good already. Hopefully you've already got some things done. But look, y'all know things are always sticky in Hollywood and in real life. And today we're honing in on T.I.'s failed attempt to be Red Foxx through stand-up, and several comics calling him out for ruining comedy. Okay. There's some other things that I want to get into in this video as well. Receipts that show and prove that T.I. has been lying to the blogs. He's a blatant liar. He doesn't take accountability, and he doesn't have any comedy etiquette. I want to really peel back the layers of the Red Foxx comparisons and just some things that he shared a while ago and kind of where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do in life with regards to his entertainment career. Okay, so let's get into this, sir. Make sure you hit thumbs up on your way in, and shout out to the couple of folks in the live chat. I know it is literally 5:30 in the morning, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this information out. All right.
The following video is broadcasting live, and thank you for being my studio audience. Thank you for hitting thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more black news, celebrity entertainment, and a splash of controversy.
Hey, Ben Zone and everybody. Thank you for coming through. So look, let's get right into it. Y'all know over here on my channel, I do all that I can do to break y'all some of the best black news and breaking celebrity updates. And if you do not know, I have been covering this situation with Kerrion Franklin and him being arrested. And then there is an update. He has since done a jail phone call from the jail. It's pretty much a jailhouse interview. And so if you need to see either two of those things, make sure you check that content out on the channel as well after we are done getting into this video and a little bit of Red Foxx, just nostalgia, and just talk about the art of comedy. It's definitely something that's lost upon T.I. But like I said, come on and hit thumbs up. Shout out to the folks in the live chat. Y'all know, before I get into breaking down today's news and viral topics, make sure you check in on yourself. If you're not quite feeling all right, this might be the stream to help you sit back and decompress, but tackle your own invisible issues before you get to dibbling dabbling in celebrity or anybody else's business. Okay, make sure you subscribe and think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. Now, let's get flat out into it. Okay, let's make it a little bigger. We know that T.I. has been having a hard time. Karma came around quick. Okay, he called himself heckling a black woman while on stage. And first of all, that is a big no-no in the comedy world. It is a craft. It is an art, like with any other art form. Respect it. Respect it. I know that a lot of comedians are assholes, and I think that T.I. feels like, well, because I'm an asshole and I'm offensive, I might as well just go ahead and do comedy. I'm already offending people anyway. And no, absolutely no. That's not how it goes. That is not how it goes. Now, I want to get into a tweet, actually. He tweeted about it a while ago. Before I get into the tweet of T.I. actually aspiring to do a Red Foxx biopic, let's just get into what we looking like, right? Because a while ago, T.I. showed up to ESPN looking just like Red Foxx. Don't believe me? Now tell me he not giving y'all Red Foxx vibes. That's what it's giving. He showed right up to down to the chain, the blazer, the large glasses. What he thought he was, what did he think he was doing? I see y'all dropping y'all pancakes in the chat. What's really going on here? Okay, he really feels like he is the next Red Foxx. And no, sir. No, sir. Big difference. Are y'all both assholes and rough around the edges? Absolutely. But you are not Red Foxx. Stop trying it. Stop trying it. Have some respect. Have some respect. So this is what he said a while ago, right? This was in 2017. He said, comedic genius. People always ask me, what is my dream role? Whose life story would I like to star in? It would be Red Foxx, the first comedian rock star. If someone says he's going through it, I don't know if it's midlife crisis. He decided to grow his hair out of nowhere. T.I. is just annoying to me. Like, he's completely and absolutely annoying. And he's had some really good, memorable, and iconic times in rap. I must admit. And I mean, okay, he did his thing in ATL. All right, but don't think just because you crossed over and you did. I mean, he kind of like played himself in ATL, but nonetheless, look, T.I. really wants to be Red Foxx. We finding old tweets of him literally saying it. We're finding him literally looking, whether it be intentional or not. He does, resemble a Red Foxx, and they are both assholes, but it's too god dag on different. Here's the reason why. Okay, so Red Foxx is well respected. He's a raunchy asshole. He's blunt. He's offensive, and he's frank. T.I. may be well respected in the rap world to his peers and his audience, that really his fans that bump with him, but that doesn't translate over into the comedy world. It's a totally different ball game than rap. Is T.I. raunchy? Yes. Is he blunt, offensive? But number one, he doesn't respect the craft enough. Not to mention, it's like I said, T.I. go be a grandfather somewhere. Not to mention T.I. I feel like he sees a bit of himself because of the level of offense that they give off. And a comedian is supposed to be offensive, right? Because the jokes aren't funny if you're not stepping on a toe or approaching a boundary, over a boundary, whatever the case is. But it is still an art form, and you can't just be a haphazard asshole. It does require you to read the room. Speaking of reading the room, why was T.I. booked out at an arena anyway? He's been doing comedy for all of 6 weeks? And you're at an arena? No, sir. You set yourself up for failure. And honestly, no other comedian with 6 weeks experience would be able to afforded an opportunity to perform at an arena like that. Not that they would do well anyway, right? But because of your celebrity and your status, you are able to get different advantages that other folks aren't, but it doesn't mean that you are going to knock it out the park. See, T.I.'s problem is he wants to lie his way to the top, and he feels like his little 5, 6, 7 syllable words and all that is going to talk him into success within the comedy realm. And no, you can cheat, you can wing it for however long as you want to, but you will still bomb. And a lot a lot of comedians have been trying to put him on game and tell him about it. And he's confrontational, right? He doesn't take feedback well. He doesn't take the criticism well. When he's trying to, when the veterans of the game who literally lived that craft for well over a decade, maybe even decades, plural, he wants to cuss him out and feels like, oh no, don't say nothing to me. Well, guess what? They're going to say something to you. They're going to say something to you. Why? Because at this point, you're watering down the craft and respectability that we have. Comedy is one of those worlds, whereas just like sometimes in other places where you gatekeep, especially Black comedians, right? They gatekeep that shit, because if comedy starts to become this fading fast art form, then the floodgates will be open for any Tom, Dick, Harry, and non-funny individual to come walking in there, and you won't be taken as serious because now your craft has been diluted with a whole bunch of people who are not even trying to pay their dues. So in order for the existing comedians to still be respected, they have to, how sometimes we lose hip hop, we lose R&B, we're losing rap. Be like, where is somebody that's going to shake it up? Comedy is something that we don't lose, but it does go through cultural shifts. And so if T.I. trying to be just like a Red Foxx or like a, even let's say adjacent to a Richard Pryor, like they told some really offensive jokes. And as a matter of fact, they told some jokes that wouldn't even fly in today's world because there's been a major cultural shift. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't even tell those jokes or tap into, a Red Foxx type of a sense of humor, a Richard type of a sense of humor, because We living in different times. You can't tell jokes about slipping something in a woman's drink and waking up and taking, you know what I mean? Jokes that have a rapey undertone and so on and so forth. It's not. But when you're used to being offensive and when you don't want to tune up what you're doing when you're in other entertainment worlds adjacent to comedy and you feel like you can step over here and just be good at it because maybe that's what you did with acting, that's really where the problem comes into play, in my opinion. And like I said, he just doesn't respect the craft enough. See, here's the thing. We're going to get into him being booed. I want to get into him being booed. And I also want to just get into the collective disinterest that existed in that venue. Okay. Just look at how these people is not finding. They are not finding T.I. to be tickling any sort of a funny bone. Okay. So let's get into him being booed. I've actually stitched together about like 3 or 4 different clips and angles just to kind of get a more of an in-depth understanding instead of like a 40-second clip to really understand like what's going on, what's going wrong. Let's get into this clip that I'm about to play. Make sure y'all hit thumbs up on this video and share it on Twitter so I can come past and retweet and follow you. Okay.
Goddamn gas station. If she come back out that goddamn gas station and say them seats wasn't heated, man, back tooth got something to say. Smell like a dead body in his mouth when he opened it. I will tell you that. Hey, listen, man, you ain't been here. Gentrification just started about 8 years ago. You just got here. I ain't gonna allow this from you. All my niggas I'll take it from you, sir. I will not allow it.
This timing not right.
I will not allow it. A while ago, he was about 10, 11 years old, man. I think this is when the animosity started. The nigga walks in, caught me slamming his mom. You hear me? Nailing his mom.
Not nailing his mom. See, first of all, T.I. being that guy, telling jokes about fucking somebody. T.I., we don't want to hear about nothing that you, Tiny, whoever got going on. We don't want to hear it. We are grossed out. You hear me? We don't save it. Nailing his mom. Like, what, who? Where you at? In New York. Buddy. This is coming from the guy who said comedy is easy. Oh, is it? How easy is it?
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
I don't know, buddy.
We ain't been the same since. But goddamn.
Karma came around so fast because you heckled that Black woman and you victimized yourself and you lied. That's the part. You lied and you made yourself out to be a victim. She's talking about my allegations. Well, what did you say, buddy? What did you say to her to make her respond in that way? Don't just tell part of the story. Tell it all. Stop trying to manipulate the situation. You continued to call her a bitch. Did you not? You kept calling her a Black bitch, and you told her to take her wig off, to which her response was, I will take my wig off when you address them allegations. That's what she said. That's what she said. That's what you said. And then what you had a nerve to do was you had a nerve to take your big ass. See, that's the thing. T.I., you're a big joke, but you're not funny. Laugh at, not with type of a situation. Like, you are the joke. It's singular. That's it. Your existence, your arrogance. That is the joke. But you're not funny. Funny looking sometimes. Yeah, you know. You're like Sanford and Son head ass. Get out of here. Get out of here. you you decided to heckle a comedian, an art form you haven't even studied enough, right? 6 weeks it's been, something you said was easy. And then you heckle a woman that's on stage, has actually been doing it longer than you, right? And you tell her to take her wig off, and then you take your ass over to Instagram and say, I never called her a bitch. And if she can find a video of me calling her a bitch, I give her $1 million, to which your broke ass ain't never gonna do. Make it make sense.
You see where the shit got twisted? Never called you out your name. Never called you a bitch. You give me a video where I called you a bitch, I give you $1 million. Where I call you a bitch at? Where did I call you a bitch? I never called you no bitch. Where I call you a bitch at? Where did I call you a bitch? You keep on playing with me, nigga. I'm gonna continue to confront you publicly. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Don't play with me about that.
Bullets on your wrist, a plain Jane.
But that's it. If you want to catch more,
But that's it. You're a liar, buddy. You come in here, you don't respect the arts, you heckle your fellow comedians that you should be trying to get to know and figure out how y'all can work together, how y'all can finagle some connections. And you heckle her, and then you lie to make her look crazy. You say you're going to give her $1 million, to which you never did. I've been in correspondence with this woman since the day this stuff went viral. I've been getting statements from her. This receipt here is old, but I do have it. I have been talking to Lauren Knight every single day since this has went viral. T.I. takes his ass to the blogs and says, I paid her. They said, pay her, bruh. He said, I just did. So here, I messaged her again because we've been talking. I said, oh, he bugging. I'm glad you got the footage. She literally went and got the club footage of him calling her a bitch. She said he did not pay me, but I never thought he would. And Mary Blue, I think you're exactly right. I think he was intimidated by her because she is funny. I've been seeing some of her other clips here or there, watching her even in regular conversation or whatever the case is. And she is funny. She's funny. So she wasn't talking about him at all. She was doing her set, and he decides to heckle her and call her a bitch. And it's not even like he's like, you're not funny, boo. Like, you're literally calling her a bitch and talking about her taking her wig off. Excuse me, with your struggle starter locks. I know you don't think that you are privileged enough aesthetically to talk about anybody's exterior or their hair, T.I. And you talking about somebody taking off their wigs, baby. When is Tiny's real hair ever exposed? How dare you challenge a woman with a wig on to take it off? You tell Tiny to take them fake eyes out. You tell Tiny to take her wig off. You tell Tiny to take them implants out. How dare you insult another Black woman when you should be respecting comedians in that art form? You should be respecting Black people. You should be respecting Black women. He is a fucking misogynist, and he can't stand to be next to anybody that's doing better than him, especially, but don't let it be a Black woman. He can't take that. That's that little man's complex. It's pathetic. I think that T.I. is not fit for comedy. He's too sensitive. He feels like he's above reproach. And when Godfrey told him about himself, Godfrey wasn't even dragging. Comedians have a different way of communicating with one another. And I do not blame them for gatekeeping their craft and saying, no, you're not just about to come in here and not be funny, because then they'll start looking at all comedians like we're a joke. Go back to the drawing board, bruh. You're not funny. And then you're upset that they putting you on game. That's how it's supposed to go. But you don't even know the game. You're taking offense to cordial criticism. Godfrey ain't drag you. Now, don't get me wrong. When comedians address fellow comics when they've messed up or they're going wrong or they're just learning their way, there are some jabs in there because, hello, this is comedy and you have to be able to take a joke. But Godfrey ain't saying anything too bad to you. What he said was, I'm not going to go out there and watch his set and mingle with him. and a couple of other pieces of criticism. No harm, no foul. Very respectable. You're not above reproach, especially when you're about to dilute and water down their craft, by affecting their pockets because they're adjacent to you. No, they gatekeep, and you need to earn your stripes and pay your dues. But you feel like, I'm T.I. Yeah, you T.I. Take these boos. See, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And thank y'all for hitting thumbs up on this video. It takes a lot to do comedy. It takes a lot to read a room. It takes a lot to get your timing down. Them people that lived it, see, you wanna be a Red Foxx. Red Foxx lived that day in and day out. He just so happened to act, but he was a comedic actor. He lived it. See, Red Foxx actually died broke, but that's a whole nother story. Eddie Murphy paid for his funeral, but it was something that he lived. It was not a joke to him. And when you go to New York, number one, it takes a lot to handle a New York crowd. It really does. You can't just walk up to New York and think you about to win them over. Oh no, you got to come with your A game. And you up there talking about nailing his mom. Not funny. Not funny, bro. Bernie Mac.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you something straight off the motherfucking press. I ain't coming for no foolishness.
That's just a small clip of Bernie Mac. Nothing too serious. I ain't trying to get a copyright strike, but that is Bernie Mac in New York. It's a certain cadence. That's another brother who literally lived that comedy life. He studied it. He didn't just hop in the pool. I'm a pro at this. I can do a back swan dive. No, maybe you got a compliment from a Dave Chappelle who you opened for him one time. Apparently, I'm hearing that you got a compliment from a Denzel Washington or somebody like that. But just because you got 2 compliments doesn't mean that you can be willfully ignorant and arrogant to think that you are above reproach. You are not. And he can't even accept a failure or an L or a boo, tomato, 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 tomato. He can't even accept that moment for what it is. He can't even accept that for what it is. T.I. is a joke. That's the funny part. You heckled that woman. Comedy came back around. You didn't pay her. Basically, what you were saying was you paid her in exposure. And I'm going to get into that in a second, too. But first, let's listen to your sorry-ass excuse to smile through your pain and humiliation after you got a wake-up call in that arena. You had no business. You had no business being in that arena. Sanford and Son reject. You had no business being there. But you learned, didn't you? You got to learn how to read small rooms before you read something. Should even Kevin Hart, when he first started doing arenas in Madison Square Garden and things like that, I didn't find it funny. And Kevin Hart's been in the comedy game for a lot longer than you. And I just found, I can't remember what the name of it was, but he was wearing all black and there was some animations back there. And it was the first time I had ever went to the movies and seen Kevin Hart in the arena. It was not hitting because it's not the same. The cadence, everything is so different. And studying your timing and your punchlines and your jokes of choice for an arena, it takes a whole nother set of time. It's a different beast than mastering a room at, let's say, the Comedy Factory in Baltimore Stand-Up. T.I., you a joke. You a joke. I'm going to go to the bush and weep in a minute.
Did you enjoy that feeling of being booed? It felt good? It felt good? Yeah. Yes. I loved it. I didn't feel like they were booing me. I felt like they were booing me as like, I dare you to be more funny. I dare you to overcome this. I dare you to do better.
Buddy.
I feel like that's what they challenged me to do, and I did it. I loved it. The word was anonymity.
You see how some people just don't want to accept reality for what it was. Nigga, you sucked. You better be lucky nobody had tomatoes or paper balls. You better be lucky because, baby, I didn't feel like they were booing you. That's what it is. Not you trying to gaslight everybody. Fucking watching. Like, I know you. That's not. Get up in the morning and be like, the sky's red. No, the sky is blue. Nah, the sky is red and it symbolizes like you can't paint this picture, baby. We saw it. We saw it. You couldn't even joke on a like he just, and if you're not willing to accept that that was a humbling moment for you, then you will never improve. First of all, there's always room for improvement, especially when you only been doing some shit for 6 weeks. I hope you cannot play no fucking Samuel and Son. I'm Red Foxx. You can't play him. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
The word was anonymity. So the conversation was fame sucks. Enjoy your anonymity as long as you can. Anonymity. Someone raised their hand. I say, ma'am, what's your name? Thank you. Thank you so much for raising your hand, because everybody else wanted to know the definition and they ain't raised their hand.
But why was you having a spelling, a definition bee on the shit? Like this is where it went wrong when you were talking about anonymity. I feel like I'm watching Finding Nemo. Anonymity. Because why is that supposed to be funny? I would have sat there and stared at you too. What is this? But no, you sit in the thesaurus all goddamn day long and try to find synonyms for shit, and you're still illiterate and grammatically incorrect as hell. But baby, don't put other people through your fucking thesaurus ceremonies. We don't have time. Make us laugh at something other than those deformed ass booty butts that Tiny got. Stop it. Stop it. Stop.
Anonymity is the act of remaining anonymous. As soon as I gave the definition, boo.
Because didn't nobody want to know that shit.
One joke started the booze. One joke was okay. I tell you what it was. A part of my set was, if anybody hear a word they don't understand, raise your hand and I give you the definition expeditiously, right? And
so you really do feel like you're a word master, you a wordsmith, and you figure I'm gonna make y'all laugh. I'm gonna be a word master, and I'm gonna define anything that y'all don't know. I'm gonna give y'all knowledge. I'm gonna make you laugh at something other than the way I look. Yeah, that is funny. It's painfully funny. Cause I know you fucking lying. I know you is. No, but you're not. You're not though.
Usually, the first hand that raises, and I'm talking about from LA to Atlanta to like all the other places I've performed. Usually, when the hand raises and I offer them the definition, there's a laugh and a cheer. This particular time in the Barclays, I'm gonna tell you about the part that you did not see.
Yeah, I can't wait.
The part you did not see as I continue through the booze, which is a part of, because you, K-Dub, Chris Spencer, Donnell Rollins, Dave Chappelle, everybody said, oh boy, you gonna get booed. And I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna get booed. It's crazy. I ain't finna get booed. I'm not finna get booed. You crazy. And they're like, boy, you gonna get booed. Prepare for it. And I'm like, I ain't finna do it. And in my head, right, I created me a little contingency. So, as I'm going through the shit, right, I'm working through the booze. I said, I know what I'm finna do. I had them play a song. The song just happened to be Swagger Like Us. I don't care what they show, bro, because I ain't seeking nobody's validation. I'm not here for nobody else's approval. I don't give a damn. That between...
Baby, you are here for the approval. This is a comedy show. Approval is laughs. We paid to laugh, not to catch secondhand embarrassment at how ridiculous you look, you sound, the audacity that you possess. It proceeds you. just the bush really quick, because this is out of pocket.
It was gone.
Let me just go in the bush and weep. Let me just go in the bush and weep. I just have to go in the bush and weep. Really. I don't understand. I swear to God, I don't understand.
Me in the crowd. Once I left the arena, or the crowd left the arena, everybody else, y'all is just, you know, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about that. When the moment came on, everybody got there, got the whole energy changed. Whole energy changed. And then right when it was my turn to rap, I cut the song off, say, I wish I would for you ungrateful mothers. Ain't no way. Everybody stood on their feet, started clapping.
Fuck, I didn't see a video of that. I need to see that.
I mean, either way, bro. I love the shit, bro.
Haters only show the bad part. They didn't even show that good part.
Ain't no good part. See, Michael up here lying to him. See, Michael want him to sink. That's what he don't realize. Michael sat up here and listened to him with this face like, nigga, that's what you, and he think that because he's not getting told about himself, because he's used to just talking his way into acceptance, even if lackluster, mediocre, whatever. Like, Michael is not putting you on game. He's listening to you, and he's just as confused by your explanation and your ignorance as well. However, he not about to battle with your mentality. I don't find Michael to be that funny either. I felt like Michael could have put you on game. He should have, right? Especially according to how the rest of the comedians are coming together. Like, listen, freeze this nigga out if he don't want to get better and improve. Period, point blank. Like that is essentially what is being said about you. These people in New York were sent this flyer here, and they said they clapped because he finished. They was sent this flyer, and T.I. just on here just looking the way that he looked. Michael Blackson don't care if you sink or swim. It's a mess. And I totally understand comedians wanting and actually needing to protect their craft, because you had like a surge of like Instagram skit comedians just skating to do stand-up without actually doing the work, and making people laugh on Instagram through short form skits is totally different from reading a room and doing stand-up. And a lot of those skit comedians kind of found out, and instead they transitioned into being like comedic actors for purposes of cameos and potentially bigger things, right? Because that is more so along the lines of what they do. But look, nonetheless, I'm tired. I'm tired of T.I. You are not Red Foxx. Like you just are not. You feel like you can lie your way to the top. You go in here disrespecting Black women, and it's just terrible. You know, he's approaching comedy like he approaches rap. Comedy is a whole nother beast. Getting upset at other comedians for talking about him and shit. You know, you swear up and down just because you can make your cousins giggle that you're a comedian, but no. You got to respect stand-up the way you should. No skipping steps. You think you can just rush into doing big venues and be that guy in comedy without having, paying your dues and earning your stripes. And then he gets confrontational when people try to pull him up and talk to him. No, he should have gotten off that stage expeditiously. That's what should have happened. That's what should have happened. He's a short, arrogant man. Yeah, absolutely. He's not funny. He's never fun. He has never been funny to me. He has absolutely never been funny to me. But, you know, start in small rooms and master that for an extended period of time. Don't master 2 small rooms at 2 small comedy clubs and think, oh, I'm ready for a big venue. Okay. They paid you for that gig. Woo, child. You know, being offered venues like this, it's a fame privilege. And it can be a gift and a curse. He could have declined the offer, but that doesn't sound like anything that T.I. would do, you know? So, you know, and then this is the thing about him having the advantage of having the music with him. He queues to get his music turned on. He didn't even know what song was going to turn on. The least you can do, because you do have that advantage, which is pretty unique to stand-up comedians. A lot of them don't do music. So with you actually having some hot bangers and some classics, you gotta prepare what part in my entire catalog is really going to be a lifeboat. So let's say if I'm getting booed, if I'm not getting the response from the audience that I want, I need to be able to revive it with some hot fire. Twitter's been talking about it all day. Twitter is the answer to how to improve, and it is the form to utilize, because when we are dissatisfied by something, when something is not given what it's supposed to give, we are going to talk about it and criticize the shit about it on Twitter. And a lot of people feel like T.I. would be in his best interest to bust out some of his best songs, classics, when he's having a hard time and a joke is not landing. He hasn't even studied enough to figure out, all right, well, when I do this motion, let's do this song or this line. He don't even know. So, I mean, and that is kind of curating your own style or form, innovating the formula, because you have something different. You do have an advantage, but you haven't even studied and mastered your own unique advantage yet. Like, respect the craft. Respect the craft. The same way if there was some guy just walking up to rap, thinking they could walk up, not be good, be lackluster, you know what I'm saying, and really lower the value of the other rappers around them, he wouldn't be having it, and he would stand up and he would be loud, expeditious to call it out and say, wait a minute, young brother, you gotta put in your time. We've been doing this. It's no different than comedy. Stop playing games with these people. Stop playing games with these people. So let's get into a little let's get into what these comedians had to say to T.I. Let's start with Ari Spears. Ari Spears is somebody that he is not going to bite his tongue for anybody. Ari Spears has never held his tongue. Ari Spears has said so much, and comedy can be a dangerous profession. Why? Because again, your job is to offend people. That's what telling jokes. A joke is not funny if it's not offending somebody, right? But there is an art to that. Ask Chris Rock. There, you know what I'm saying? That there have been plenty of people who have been hit upside their head because a joke stung a bit too much. So you have to be able to read a room. T.I. can't read a room for nothing. And then you can't, if you can't read a regular room, you can't read an arena. Stop playing. just stop playing. So let's get into what Ari Spears had to say. Ari Spears says, and this is the same dude who said comedy was easy. Here's the lesson. Humble yourself. This ain't, mind you, this is in all caps. This ain't hip hop. This is a different craft that is to be respected. And you definitely don't heckle your fellow comics. This is the goofiest this nigga could have done. When you know how hard this hustle is, you show respect to the artists who live this craft. Karma paid this cat a quick visit. Okay, so that's what one person has to say. Ari Spears, who was actually somebody that's really funny. He does really good impressions. Specifically, he does a really good LL Cool J impression. Woo! But he looks nothing like LL Cool J at all. Ari Spears, great guy, beautiful gowns. Yes, Ari Spears got hit in the head on the podcast. Yes, I do remember that. It's terrible because he was sitting down and everything. So here's what comic Steve Brown had to say. He says, dear veteran comedians, we have a responsibility to teach the younger comedians entering our arena, no matter who they are. The game is to first respect the business. If you're not going to do that, you're a part of the problem. Okay? A part of the problem. We know he got a problem with Godfrey because he felt like, who is Godfrey to be telling? Look, Godfrey may not be somebody who is the most popular, but he is a comedian that has been deep in that craft for a long time. Put some respect on comedians. All of them. Don't walk up and try to size up a Godfrey because you feel like he's not as much of a household name as you. So what? He's still better at comedy than you. He still put years, blood, sweat, tears. That is his livelihood. Stop playing in people's face. These are metaphorical slaps that T.I. is getting, and he has to take them, but he'll pretend that they not slaps. He'll pretend those aren't slaps. Those are pats on my backs. Like, no, you got the game fucked up. And these comedians are telling you in several different ways. Steve Brown also says, come on, guys, let's maintain that level of respect for our business. Everyone who comes into our arena, no matter who they are, should be given the game before they even hit the stage. If you're a veteran comedian and you're one of the ones going along to get along, letting people do what the hell they want to do without any guidance or structure, you are part of the growing problem. If we continue to let people who are new to our business come in and do what they want to do, people will no longer look at us as professional entertainers anymore. They'll look at us like clowns. Demand respect for our line of business, just like rappers, R&B artists, poets, and others demand it for theirs. Respectfully, Steve Brown. Okay? So, he's getting told. And I just, like, brother, stay away from trying to do this Red Foxx stuff. Just stop. Because I would never get over what you did to your daughter. Like, again, Red Foxx was offensive, but never like you, sir. Like, he felt like his daughter's, hymen being broken was his business, called her test results his results. I just can't with T.I. So Damon Williams says the price went down. Today's price is not yesterday's price. When she says, what? I hollered. The issue here is that you can't start at the top. We have to spend countless hours perfecting a set for a show on this scale. T.I. has courage, but he needs way more experience, especially in a setting that people pay the premium price to watch, in my humble opinion. These comedians are not playing with you, T.I. These comedians are not playing with you. Stop playing with them. Stop playing with them. Study or get out. Study or get out. Yeah, T.I. has been given an easy ride. So like I said, him and his desire to walk in Red Foxx's footsteps is it's a trip. But Red Foxx was a guy who he had a way about being an asshole, and that takes years to form and develop. It really does. And like I said, T.I. showed up to ESPN that one day looking like Red Foxx, and I said, oh, I see what he's trying to do. And then I said, I think I remembered him actually saying that he wanted to play Red Foxx in a biopic. And so that is something that he said in this tweet right here in 2017. So it's just really interesting. He did not pay the comedian another way, where it's just like you come in, you heckle somebody, you say, cool, I didn't heckle you. Then when it comes out in 4K that you did heckle them, you don't pay them what you said you were going to pay them. You called her a liar. Like, it's a mess. Let's get into this caption here, because he lied and said that he paid the comedian, and he did not. Okay. And so let me show you this image right here on the screen, coming in trying to lie his way to the top. No, ma'am. So like I said, I've been in exclusive correspondence with this comedian all week since the day that this stuff went viral. She was able to confirm with me way earlier in the week, last week, that she was not paid, despite T.I. telling people that he did pay. Here is what was said in his caption, right? Because he basically feels like he paid her an exposure, right? Although he didn't give her $1 million or anything for that matter, but a large fine. We're going to get into the large fine in a minute. So here's T.I. responding to all of this mess after he got caught in 4K. And he said that he didn't call her a bitch, but he did call her a bitch, and that if she produced the video, blah, 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 blah. So he says, I've said from my entrance into the world of comedy that I intend to use my light to shine on others, to bring awareness to those who have love and respect for the art form. In the spirit of that, everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Lauren Kay. She's a young and upcoming comic on the scene in Atlanta. Check her out. She's a young Black woman fighting to use her voice for laughter. And I understand that may take us down dark roads at times, but there always is an opportunity to find a beacon of light and produce a positive outcome. As I say all the time, all ships rise with the high tide. May she use whatever fame and notoriety May she use whatever fame and notoriety she receives for good. Now, mind you, this is him basically saying, look, this situation went viral, therefore she's getting fame and notoriety. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduced you to her. May she use this fame and notoriety for good. I wish you the best. I hope you bring the world more joy and laughter with the light you receive. I've done my part here. Moving on, T.I. says, right? And this is after, this is him telling the world that, look, I paid her an exposure. You said you was going to give her $1 million. You said you did give her or pay her. And really what you paid her was exposure through humiliation. That's what you did? Exposure through humiliation. It's giving real ugly to me. It's giving cheapskate. It's giving liar. It's giving boo. You don't even go here. Get out. Because I know you fucking. Girl. It's too much. Get him out of comedy. Get him out of comedy right now.
Nigga, you gotta be ashamed of yourself, nigga. Real talk. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. All that you is.
It's too much. It's too much. I'm over it. Like I said, it's the collective disinterest, if anything. People sitting like this at a comedy show are not enthused. They're not moved. They're barely even laughing at how dreadful you are. Like, it is secondhand embarrassment. You've got to cut it out. You've got to cut it out. Stop trying to make fetch happen. You will never be Red Foxx. And in fact, Red Foxx and the style in which he did comedy is not, it's not effective in 2022. There has been a major cultural shift. And just because you're an offensive asshole, T.I., does not mean that you can play Red Foxx, because he was an offensive asshole, just like Richard Pryor was an offensive asshole, and so on and so forth. Absolutely not. No, ma'am, Pam. As Jada Nerd would say, no, ma'am, Pam. I just wanted to get this out and really just talk about the way he disrespects comedy, but also pulling up the specific responses from all the different comedians collectively, in addition to Godfrey, who was trying to pull him up and put him on game, really just trying to get him right. But he just doesn't want to take their advice because he feels like, well, I've gotten a handful of compliments from some great people. And sometimes when you get a compliment and you're still in development, they hold back on the criticism because who's to say you weren't doing good for that second week? But that don't mean stop practicing and dilute, our value, and we start looking like jokes because you don't like to study. No, comedians should be viewed and respected in a certain way, just like we expect for rappers. Like Tekashi 6ix9ine, a joke makes other rappers look like a joke. Like, don't let any more Tekashi 6ix9ines into the rap. And I'm not even a rap fan, but it's like, come on, like, that is literally a clown. No talent, a clown. And you start letting a certain amount of Tekashi 6ix9ines into the rap industry. Imagine there's 7 of them, 10 of them, 15, 20 of them. What does rap start to look like in its entirety with an overage of mediocrity? A joke. That's what it begins to look like. But hey, those are my thoughts. Really quick fun fact though about Red Foxx. He did die completely moneyless. He was in debt $740,000. And what was really sweet and heartfelt to me was that Eddie Murphy paid for his funeral. He paid for his burial and he paid for his headstone as well, because he didn't want to just see him not get his proper send-off or respects. And so that is how one fella in comedy looked out for another Black man in comedy. And I thought that was just some noble shit to do. Eddie Murphy is a pretty low-key guy. When he's not on screen, you really can't keep tabs on him. He has a certain amount of privacy. You really wouldn't even know who his friends are, who he hangs out, whether they be comedians or not, like who he hangs out with behind the scenes. But that was just that was respect. Black man to black man, comic to comic. That's something that happened. So I do thoroughly enjoy comedy, and it's and yeah, it is something that I don't want to see diluted, although I'm not a comedian. Like I'm not a comedian, but it is something I thoroughly enjoy, and I don't want to see it be washed away. And I think comedy is already in a state where it's like we need to maybe start talking about some ground rules, because there are just a couple of things going on between what T.I. did after what Will did, and so on and so forth. There's some weird things happening. So there needs to be some order, and there needs to be a collective, let's put our foot down and stop letting bullshit in the door. Okay. So that is what I had on T.I. and him wanting to be Red Foxx. So got dag on bad. Okay. And over Jamelia. It really is. It really is. It's okay. Like, she literally had nothing else to add to the story, to be completely honest. She didn't get paid. T.I. literally took her out to dinner for a large fry, and that was it. And the whole time she was eating a large fry, she was complaining about being broke, and it was just a mess. So in my opinion, it's like it cooled all the way off, and there was really nothing else to add. I knew he didn't pay you. I knew you were still struggling. You had already told me all of that since we've been talking all week. So, you know, it is what it is. I moved on to the next story. And actually, I really enjoyed it. It was more edifying, the discussion that came off the back of Christian Toby Obum Sully. The conversation that came on the back of that, as far as Black women deciding to band together and not advocate for a colorist, someone who literally degraded Black women, that was a more edifying conversation. And it became like a mini movement, right? Like, we really came together as Black women and decided we are sitting this one out and drinking our mimosas and figuring out what's for lunch tomorrow. And I haven't seen that much unity amongst us Black women in a long time. And it has been very refreshing to see. And I even made a tweet about it on Twitter. And a lot of women came under the people I don't even know. You know what I mean? And we were just like, yeah, it was good. It felt good not to have to fight for somebody that hates us. So I just have moved on to a story that was more so edifying for me and to me. And it was amazing. And I can't wait to continue the discussion, actually, because that story is still developing. Self-defense. I said, let's see if those see-through people help march, get justice. The family calling for all of us to come together. We need the community in order to get What community? The snow bunny should be available. We clocked out. That's what we did. Thank you so much for joining the channel membership. I really appreciate it. I am what I am. I appreciate you joining the membership, and thank you for becoming a backstage sticky. And look, however you support this stream, whether you hit thumbs up, whether you subscribe, whether you hit the notification bell, whether you send a cash app, whether you send a super chat, however it is, hit the like button. I appreciate it. All of it is completely and absolutely appreciated. And just know none of it is taken for granted. Okay.
Hey, thanks for letting me keep you connected and in the know with what's happening in the Black world. Don't forget to smash on that like button for support and for more Black news.
So it is 6 in the morning, right? It's actually 6:13 in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. This was a pretty nice stream. I just couldn't wait to get out just some of my notes and some of my thoughts. And this summary of what happened since I had been in correspondence with the comedian that he heckled all week. I just wanted to get that stuff out and really just move on to the next thing. Like T.I., I'd be damned if T.I. take up all this time. You know, the Will Smith thing took long enough to pass, and it still ain't passed. But I'd be damned if T.I. like clouds up the headlines for days at a time. Absolutely not. And this video kept getting pushed back because of the carry-on story and things of that nature. So if you don't know, I am covering the story very closely, provide documentation, and just making sure that the fine tooth, the details are combed through with the fine tooth comb, and that I am reporting them accurately. Okay, so Kerryon Smith, who was Kirk Franklin's son, he has been arrested. Check out that video if you haven't already. The initial report video is just 10 minutes long. It just sticks to the facts, and that's it. Then there's an update. He had a phone call from the jail, basically a jailhouse phone call interview where it was recorded, And that video is probably like over an hour long, but the recording is only 13 minutes long. So it's just a lot to sort through. So I went ahead and I condensed it and gave you all a summary of what Kerryon is saying, giving you an update, his side of the story, additional details. He does have court this morning. They're going to figure out how much the bond is and if they can get him out. But to get all the details and to get all of the context, make sure you check out the 2 previous videos to this one. And let me know your thoughts about, Kirk Franklin, if he's going to show up, should he show up, should he not show up, and so on and so forth. But yes, I am enjoying covering this situation, and I'm, covering it with care a little bit as well. I do have direct contact, and I do get information from a very close friend of the family. So I was able to confirm some things twice over. Information that was given to Larry Reed, who Kerryon has direct contact to and with. So y'all know when I do my research and I present my details, I make sure I'm right and I make sure I'm not rushing. So I know that Kerryon has been arrested in suspicion of being connected to an alleged murder. All right. But it's important that you listen to those details and listen with your ears wide open and listen slowly. If you listen too fast, you'll misunderstand. And I've had people in my DMs, he didn't murder anybody. I didn't say he murdered anybody. What I said was he was arrested on suspicion of an alleged murder because he was driving a murdered victim's car. He's driving a dead woman's car, okay, according to reports. So nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and go. I have to be to work in a little while. I hate when I do this to myself, but hey, it is what it is. I'm sending y'all positivity, good vibes, and all that stuff. As always, be sure to tag me in your favorite trending topics on Instagram, on Twitter, whether it be something about R. Kelly, whether it be something about Kerryon Franklin, especially if it's something about Andrew Caldwell, because baby, that's a key. That is a key. But no, any and all things trending. If there's a story that you want me to cover or a topic, make sure you tag me or send it to my DM. My name is thePLAINESTjane, the same as you see it on the screen. It is the same on Instagram and on Twitter. Follow me, hit me, shoot me a mention on Twitter. I spend most of my time on Twitter. If you ever want to reach me, hit me on Twitter. And look, y'all be safe, guard your spirit. We living in some crazy times. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for your time and energy. Let me know your thoughts on T.I. Is he diluting comedy? Do you feel like he has thick enough skin to do comedy? Do you think he's going to go back to the drawing board and actually study the craft? Or do you think he's too arrogant to do so and he will just continue to flop and bomb? Do you think that T.I. respects the craft and the art form of comedy enough? Okay. Any and all thoughts, I want to hear from you down below in the comments. Make sure you keep it sticky. Make sure you keep it real. Don't forget to check in on yourself. Find some peace. Do some things to grant yourself release. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up or down. Either way, I appreciate it. But don't forget to think critically and independently, regardless of what you hear from me or anybody else. All right, hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss any of this sticky, icky syrup over here. Some of the best breaking Black news and celebrity updates. Y'all throw up them pancake emojis and y'all say beautiful, Black, and blessed. Until the next time, okay? Deuces.
But that's it. If you want to catch more of my commentary on Black culture or vital and trending information, be sure to subscribe by hitting that little circle in the middle of the screen, or I'll catch you in one of these rectangles to the right in another video. I'll see you there.